Hi everyone, welcome to this interactive session where we will be discussing about how to apply an approach for business schools on the basis of your CMAT results. I'm sure in next 24 hours to 48 hours, you guys will be getting the CMAT results which you have given up till now, and there will be numerous questions which you have in your mind with respect to which college to apply, which college not to apply, and certainly how to prepare for GD and PI. To answer all the questions which you have in your mind, we have called our guest, which is Dr. Vijay Sharma, who is the Senior Associate Dean at Vivekanand Business School. So welcome on board, first of all. I hope you're doing well.
Thanks. Yes, I'm fine. Thanks, Abhishek.
And thank you for taking your time from your busy schedule for making this session very much possible and feasible for everyone. And I'm sure with all the loads of experience which you have got, and I'm sure, let me first tell you, Vijay Sharma sir will also be a panelist in the GDPI round at Vivekanand Business School also. So possibly in this session, he is going to help us out to understand all those cheat questions and the preparation tips and techniques by which you'll be able to apply for VBS and crack VBS for getting the PGDM and the MMS colleges at VBS and similar business schools also. Welcome on board, sir, first of all.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thanks.
So there are numerous questions which students have there in their mind on the basis of the CMAT and the upcoming CET examination, or possibly the exams what they have given in the previous months, which is either CAT, ZAT, MAT, and few others, which I'm sure will be accepted by all the top business schools in Mumbai across India also. So I'll possibly share all the questions and possibly you can answer them, and we can have a good round of discussion over those questions and these, which is going to supplement these students to crack the GDPI of these business schools also. So my first question for you is, the upcoming and the recent exam what they have given up till now is basically the CMAT examination. On the basis of that, these students are actually looking forward for college applications also. Now, what is the overall weightage that any college in general I'm talking about will give in the overall selection for the given student? I'm sure students will be judged on the level of their past academic records. If in case they have got work experience, they will be judged on that too. And they will be evaluated on the skills of their GD and PI too, right? So where does the CMAT exam results will stand? Is my first question to you, sir.
Yes. So before starting, let me, thank you and MBA Pathshala for, allowing us to say something and helping the students. So, I'll be talking general. When colleges, they look for students, so predominantly what they look for is the aptitude. So the aptitude is getting tested by the independent bodies and independent examination done by AICT, that is CMAT. Then of course we have got CAT, then we have got ZAT also. Then we have got our regional test, that is CET, then we have got MAT and ATMA. So predominantly what importance, all the examinations are good, but based on the rigor, rigor of the examination, CAT is considered to be the best, and generally CAT is taken as the first choice of your examination, what we take when we take for admission. Then of course we look for ZAT scores also, we look for CMAT scores also. So when you look at CMAT, the application and the acceptability, not application, but the acceptability of CMAT score is very high across all the colleges. If you leave aside the CAT colleges, that is IIMs and top tier colleges. So of course they also look at CMAT, but predominantly after CAT you have got CMAT, and then we have got ZAT, and then we have got your CET, which is regional. Okay, and then in the last line, this is a reality. What we look at is your ATMA score also and MAT score also. But before taking what we do, we homogenize, we harmonize this score. So if you are coming from CAT score and somebody has scored very, we don't try. There is some homogeneity test we apply, and that is one of the parameters what we look for when we take admission. So the premium colleges, of course, they have got their own procedures. But generally, if you look at the procedure is they look for what is the work experience you are having. So that has got a great weightage. Again, this weightage figure changes from college to college. But again, work experience, if you are having, then you have got an edge over the other candidate. Then also we have this GDPI round. So group discussion is different and personal interview is different. So this also weightage is given by many of the prominent B schools, because many times we find students who are, not in a very good position to crack this examination for some reason. On a particular day, you don't perform. But then we have got own way where we look for your performance in the GD and your performance in the PI. So based on this composite score, of course, and many colleges, they look for 11th, 12th marks also. So, because if you look at engineering graduates, if you look at BCom and BA, so each and every specialization has got a very big importance in the society. But what happens, we find disparity. So to overcome that disparity, we have got this aptitude test done by various bodies. So that score is taken. Then we also look at your performance in 11th and 12th standards. Many colleges, they do all that also. We also do. So we look, of course, we give a very small weightage to 11th, 12th, but 11th, 12th marks, then your aptitude test marks, then your group discussion marks. And finally, we put you across, senior people who are going to actually, see through whether you have got that aptitude, attitude, to seriously do that MBA program. So this all comes together, and based on that, you are chosen for an entrance examination. The weightage may differ across colleges.
Got the point, sir. It was so amazing to see the response coming from your side. Just to summarize and synthesize, you are saying CAT, ZAT, and CMAT is a primary, or let's say preferred examination that students should actually come from, rather than CET.
Yeah, many times we have got ZAT also. Yeah, ZAT also comes in that league.
So even if my score in CMAT is not as high as up to my CET score, still I'll get a chance to be selected in that college, right?
Yes, because that is a rigorous test and that is given more weightage. So while harmonizing, that point is considered.
So amazing, sir. Now, so the result is going to come in 1 or 2 days from now. And I'm sure, there's loads of applications which is going to be flooded to all the business schools. And students obviously cannot apply for all the colleges that we have in India. So depending on the budget that they keep, they consider, okay, let me apply for 4 or 5 colleges. And on the basis of that, let me see which are the colleges which I'm able to convert after selecting or studying for the GDPI. So certainly I would, possibly with your experience, if you can help them to select right kind of business schools, what are those 5 important aspects that they should look into before even they should submit the applications. So which are those 5 important parameters which you think should be really important that someone should actually do their primary and secondary research for all the business schools, what they have actually filtered, and send the applications ahead?
Yeah. So if you ask me, and when I say me, I crystallize the entire, I have been in the industry for the last, 15 years I have been teaching, and before that I have been in a working professional. So I've worked in industries like Wokhard and Lupin and Future Group. So when somebody has to choose a B school, predominantly what you have to look for is you have to look at the faculty. What kind of faculties are there in the college? What is their industry experience? And whether they have got a PhD degree. So normally what happens, if you have got work experience, itself is a PhD degree. And of course, if you have got a combination of work experience of 10 and 15 years and a PhD degree, then you should look for that, because that is a long-term investment. If you have a college which is having good industry experts and PhDs, so what happens, of course, the learning will be good. And if you have learned yourself, if you have learned 80 to 90% of whatever is delivered in the class, because everything is not you catch, there is some leakages also. But if you capture 80 to 90% of whatever is getting taught in the class by the expert faculties and the teachers, then definitely in the long run, you are going to win. In the short run also, you will win. In the long run also, you are going to win. So that should be the number 1 parameter what candidates should look for when they are applying for B school. If you look at the second aspects, what one should look at is the course structure. What kind of course syllabus the college is offering, whether that the course content, the course structure is relevant to whatever is being taught. So if you go to B schools where they are connected and they have got some limitation that they cannot change the syllabus, they don't have a course curriculum which is current. So you are learning something which is very old. There is nothing wrong in learning old, but because the market is moving very fast, you should learn something which is new. So whether that college is having all those things, whether in the syllabus or whether in the workshop mode, whether they are giving certification. So how current and topical these colleges are. So a candidate should look at what they are going to learn. So what is the content and who's going to deliver. So if these 2 things are fixed, I think other things which should follow is, what are the extracurricular activities is being done. So extracurricular activities and course and faculty, this goes and make sure that you are learning something. So if you go for interview, then it is not surprising that you will not get placement. So, people, they say you should look at placement. In fact, placement is a symptom. What causes great placement is a faculty, and what is the course, what is being taught. So your placement is a culmination of all these things. But of course, if you want to look at the proof, you look at the placement also. So you look at the faculty, you look at the course, you look at how they are delivering through extracurricular activities, through the pedagogy. And finally, if they are doing everything good, the proof lies in they have got great placement also. So that is a telltale sign of what the college is doing. So if you have got great placement, And that placement is not only just to show. So what is the average package? You should look at the average package, the highest package, and the lowest package, and how is the spread. So if you get that data, you look at the data. So that is the fourth, or I think I have not counted, but I think that is the fourth parameter. And one more sign of whether the college is good in faculty, whether the college is good in course structure, whether they are delivering something new, what is the pedagogy. This all gets captured into a one way, and that way is accreditation. So when we look at accreditation by NBA, or you look at your AICT accreditation, or you look at AACSB, that is international accreditation. So if you have got this accreditation with you, so these accrediting bodies are independent bodies. They are like the auditors, independent auditors. They come, they look at your systems, your processes, they look at the faculty, they look at the course structure, they look at everything which goes and builds up a great quality in a college. So if you are getting that accreditation, it simply means it is a very simple way for any candidate to judge the quality of the education. So when we buy some good, we look at egg mark, we look at ISI certification, we look at ISO certification. So I mean, if you want to buy drug, of course we are, I mean, if talking B2B context, if American companies want to buy the drug from Indian companies or give them the outsourcing opportunity, they look at whether you can get this US FDA approval. So that approval, what happens in education industry is the accreditation, which is given by NBA, ASSB, your ranking. So this all goes and proves that this college is a good college. So if you don't want to do your research, look at the accreditation, look at the placement figure. But if you want to further zoom down and you want to look at what the college is doing through your eyes, please go and look at the faculty members, look at what is the course structure, what new they are doing. And of course, I mean, the icing on the cake would be whether they have got a very great infrastructure, the location and all those things. But I'll give the most top priority to the faculty and the course structure. And if you want to have an easy way, please look at the accreditation and what you call as a placement figures.
So somewhere in the answer, you have also mentioned that colleges should also upgrade the students with various certifications, right? Which is like the modern age technology, whatever is ongoing, which possibly they will use once they join the corporate or any leading organization. So could you harp a little bit more on that? Why is it important now? And what if at all possibly, if you can help me out, how does that work at VBS?
So what happens in our course? I mean, if you look at the current scenario, what happens is there are many softwares which are available. Okay, so now what happens? We all know the techniques behind it, the mathematics, the algorithms, and we know everything about it. But if I want to move from one tool to another tool, there is a problem of migration. So if you look at phone, if you are using Apple and if you are using a regular Android other phone, so the migration is always an issue. So what does company do? Company feels that you know about the concept, you know about the theories, but my company is working on a particular software. Say we are working on SaaS. Okay, and so if I take a candidate and the candidate is certified on SaaS, if the candidate is having a certification of Tableau, if the candidate is certified by that organization that this person knows about this software, so the company, it becomes easy for the company to onboard. At the same time, the person can start working rather than having a lag of doing the training and understanding the navigational aspects. So if you look at any I mean, organization, they try to look for whether you are certified by those organizations whose tools we are using in our organization.
Got the point.
So at VBS, at VBS we have got all these specializations are, we have got a compulsory policy at our college that each and every specialization has to offer to a certification, relevant certification pertaining to that kind of a specialization. So if you are in business analytics, you have to get those certification. If you are in finance, you should get those certification, because that becomes easier for the company to get convinced that it won't be a long time for you to go settle there and then perform, because company wants you to perform from day one. So if they know that you have got the relevant certification, you have got all the experience, all the knowledge, so it becomes a convincing pitch for the college.
So just to summarize, you are saying the students will possibly become job ready on the day zero of the placement itself, and the onboarding journey with college and with companies will become way much more easier. So certainly
it becomes frictionless.
No doubt.
Yeah, you are job ready. That is the correct word.
So amazing. That's so amazing to say. And looking at the upcoming stages of selection that the students might go through, I'm sure there are a lot of evaluation which is going to happen at the level of GD and PI too, right? Now,
Correct.
if you can
Correct.
just tell me that, what are those important parameters that you as a panelist check at VBS for students who are actually coming for GD and PI? Let's go and let's say part by part. Let's start with GD. So certainly, which are those important parameters that you would judge a student on? Let's say a huge group of bunch of students who are coming and discussing about an important or relevant topic for discussion. How would you screen a candidate? Which are the important parameters to evaluate a student on? And if you can help us to fine tune the preparation by giving or sharing some important tips which students actually can nurture by the time they come for the GDPI Business School.
Okay. So I have done, for the last 15 years, I have been, not 15 years, but 10 years, I have been a part of the GD. And before that, we have worked in companies and we have seen a lot of GDs which are happening, the real GDs, not to select a candidate that was in companies. So what essentially we look at, or anybody looks at, not specifically us, is what is the depth of understanding you are having about the topic. So what happens when we have our GD, we give you 3 or 2 or 4 topics. Sometimes what happens, you may not be really aware about the topic. That is perfectly fine. I mean, by group consensus, we select some topic which the students may not be knowing. So, but of course, there could be a situation, you should be reading a lot and you should have a opinion, a thought, not opinion, but a thought on each and every aspect what is happening in the society. So you should be basically well read. Okay, and you should have your own opinion, and not only opinion, it should be backed by facts and data. Okay, we don't mean to say that you should have statistics with you, but you should have a counter argument for that. So it basically means how well read you are. So when you start and the topic is given to you, many times people, they read all these newspapers and all this, short hacks that you should be the first one to speak and you should be very aggressive. So what typically we look for is not your aggression, we look for your assertiveness. So maybe you are not the first starter, but then somewhere during the line, the moment you start discussing, okay, we look for whether that person is putting his or her point very assertively, point number 1. Point number 2, whether he's just barking the wrong tree, whether he's just trying to show his presence. So what is the content? We look for the content. Okay, whether that person is thinking innovatively, whether the person is getting the facts and figures, whether he is getting the argument point from some different area, which we have also not thought about. But that is a tall order for the students. But still, you should be thinking in a very lateral way, in a very imaginative way. At the same time, you have to be assertive, but you should not bulldoze your point of view. So if you have got certain candidates who are also talking something which is relevant, so you should take them with you. So how you are building a consensus. Okay, consensus means not in the wrong direction, but how you are taking everybody with you, how you are trying to arrive at a solution, if at all it is possible. So if you are just going and shouting, and if you are shouting on the top of your voice, so we think the person does not have a content, but just for the sake of scoring marks is trying to do that. So in nutshell, in GDPI, what I will suggest is, again, it is not a short-term thing. You have to be well-read. That does not happen in a day or two. Again, you may not be well-read. You may have a very limited points on that. That is perfectly okay. But when the GD starts, how you are picking up the point from other candidates and you are building your view on that, and you are supporting and constructively opposing also, because ultimately what is required in GD is that you either reach a solution or you say the solution cannot be reached within 15 minutes. We have to go for a second round of group discussion and we'll have to gather more data to reach a consensus. It is as if you are solving a problem in a company. So there you don't have to prove your point, but you have to be a part of the team in getting to the solution. And everybody is observing you, whether you are becoming a part of the solution or you are becoming a part of the problem. So we look for candidates who are emotionally very intelligent. They understand how we work in our real world. If we have got a problem, we come together, we work on each and every person's strength. Okay, and what point you are saying is absolutely sense. It did not recollect me, but I think this is what you are trying to say, and this is what I want to say. If it is at loggerheads, then again we have to come up with points so that we can resolve that loggerhead. Otherwise, if everything is moving in plain direction, we have to, finally we have to reach a consensus.
Got the point. So nowadays, colleges are also giving a lot of aspect or importance to case discussion rather than group discussion. If you can just help me out to summarize, what is the course of action that they should actually focus on when they get a case discussion rather than getting a group discussion topic to proceed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you look at case discussion,
Yeah.
case discussion is become basically a part of a group discussion. So
Okay.
when we have our normal topic, what I give one topic to you.
Mhm.
Very simple topic. One India, one election. Okay. So this is one topic. There is no context built around it. So now this gives a big leeway for the students to discuss or any participant to discuss, because I have not said anything else except for the topic.
No,
now
no.
what happens against this, I give a case study. Okay, a small case, small narration I give to you. Now what happens when I give a narration, the context is more broader. I mean, I have given the context to you. Now with respect to that context, you have to discuss. So when I give a case, I am limiting your option. So you have to discuss with respect to the case, because everything is given, a particular situation is given. In this situation, I mean, what the person should do. Okay, so he made a mistake. He made a mistake based on narration is given. So what should be done? Whether he was at mistake, what should be done by the company to take care of that? Whether he should be sent for training or whether it is an attitudinal problem. So if I give you an entire narration, in fact, it is better for the candidate, because now it is not totally open-ended. It is not totally vague. As against if you have got a topic, the topic becomes vague. One country, one election. You are talking about India, you are talking about America, you are talking about United States, you are talking about what? So it becomes very vague, and then people can give their suggestions, but again, all those suggestions will be valid based in a context. But if I give a context, to you, that one country, one election, India perspective. Now I am zeroing it down. I mean, removing all those ambiguity. Now we have to discuss about this. So the moment context is given, I think it is better for the participant rather than going here and there. They have got a context. It becomes easier for them. But again, as said, I had said earlier, unless and until you are well read, okay, because that context also has got a central theme. Okay, so if you don't have an abstract understanding, okay, so it becomes difficult. So ultimately, it boils down to how much you have practiced, how much you have debated at hand, how you have debated with your parents, discussed with your parents, discussed with your friends, and how you read, and then you just don't read the news as a news. You just think, if I was in his place, what I would have done. So the moment when you read any article or you read any case study or anything you read, you make your judgments, and you just try to put yourself in that people's place. And once you put yourself there, what I would have done, then you look at all the pros and cons. So if you look at all the pros and cons, you have a lot of points to discuss on.
Certainly, yes.
So I mean, that is the answer for how do you prepare for a GDPI.
And possibly that's the reason why colleges have actually migrated from GD to CD nowadays, to see how much is the thought process developed in the candidate before they even come and apply for those solutions what we are looking at in this corporate. Right? So amazing.
Right.
So amazing. Now coming to
that case discussion. In fact, sorry, I am interrupting.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, because if you look at your college and your pedagogy, so one of the important earlier, now that is running out of steam, and many people they say that is lost its relevance, but I will not say it has lost its relevance. So one of the pedagogy what everybody employs, and we at VBS we do more. Okay, so I mean, we don't have all theories; it's all case studies, role plays, simulations. So when you have got case studies, what happens? I mean, that is the part of pedagogy. I give you a case and then I give you the theories. I have taught you the theories, shared the theory materials, and you read the theories at home. Okay. And maybe the professor will start with some small theory class, say 15-20 minutes theory discussion, and the case is open to all of you. So then the moment you start discussing, then we can understand and we can really see which are the students who are really very matured and who are the students who are actually not very matured. They are discussing about something which is not connected with that case. So that we can clearly identify it, and it is not surprising that it is becoming one of the main tools of selecting also.
No, possibly this is an eye opener for all the students who are going to apply for colleges now, because they've got a very small time for preparation for GDPI, and the more that they can harp upon the advices that you have given, the easier it's going to be for them to crack the GDPI in the upcoming rounds.
Right.
Now, so coming to the most important part.
And sorry. When we do our GD, I mean, you have to display maturity. I mean, you have to display maturity. If we are discussing as if we are discussing in a board meeting or we are discussing with senior management, So that is what we look for maturity. What is the maturity? So you may not know, but again, I mean, building on 2 or 3 points, you are trying to bring consensus. You are trying to bring some method to the madness. That also, what is the maturity that person is developing? Maybe if you give me a topic which is connected with cryptocurrencies, I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. But if I am in a team which is trying to develop a course curriculum on cryptocurrencies, so I cannot just keep quiet. I will say something. I'm not an expert, but I will try to bring consensus. I'll try to see how the group is moving away from the core topic. So that contribution also we look at. So basically, what is the maturity? What is the maturity you are displaying? What is the content you are having? I mean, many times people, they say, if you talk in local languages, okay, no, don't try to do that, because I mean, people look for, because you are working in India and you are working, so your language also, you should have a pretty good command on language. But more than the language, what I give weightage to is what is the content. What is the content and what is the maturity and how you are taking the group together. This is what we look for.
So amazing, sir. Now coming to the most important point, among all the colleges which will be accepting CMAT, which the students will be sending the applications to, where does VBS stand? Why should someone apply for VBS for the upcoming rounds of GDPI?
Yeah, so why?
And that's one question which is like a call out action for all the students to consider that VBS is also one of the great options to consider, and based out in Bombay, which will be accepting the CMAT scores too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let me, I mean, what is our USP? Okay, that is what is the question is being addressed at the back end is, I mean, why people should select VBS. So first and foremost, I mean, people can go to our website and see what is the credential of our faculty members. 90% of our faculty members have done their PhD and they have got, I mean, 5 to 6 years of industry experience, and that is a very strong reason for somebody to choose VBS. What is unique for us, because we are located in Mumbai, we have got access to companies and resources. We have got a legacy of a management education. We are not a new college, we have got a legacy. Of course, I mean, the stronger points are connected with this only. We have got our accreditation team. We have got our accreditation by NBA. We are ranked fairly reasonably in our NIRF ranking, and we have got our NBA accreditation, and we have got our max score also pretty good. We are few colleges in Mumbai. We offer analytics in our curriculum. This is something, if you look at, I mean, I will not compare because comparing is not good. So we compare ourselves with ourselves. So we redesign our course curriculum. I mean, not very fast, but at the same time, we are not lethargic. So we have got analytics in our course curriculum, and we have got plain means a specialization in business analytics. At the same time, we have got 2 or 3 specialized subjects of analytics in our specialization. So a few colleges which have got a full-fledged, I mean, marketing analytics program. Then we have got financial analytics. Then we have got HR analytics. We have got our own entrepreneurship program which is running. So these are the differentiators. Apart from that, we have got a pedagogy which is unique. And that uniqueness of the pedagogy is that we of course, it is not that we don't teach theories, but then we dedicate a good amount of time for the other ways of learning, that is through role play, case studies, simulations, flipped class. These are the ways how we are engaging our students. So we have got great faculties, I mean, good credentials, good industry experience, and we have got a great pedagogy which is embedded in our, I mean, lesson plan. Of course, I mean, we have talked about our accreditations. We offer a scholarship to meritorious students. We have got various certifications, which is given by the college. Of course, the students has to appear for that. We have got international alliances also with international colleges, and many of our students are doing part of their program in international colleges. We have got our, I mean, value-added programs like outbound programs. So in nutshell, it is holistic and a vibrant environment at VBS, and this is not new. It has got a legacy of, and this all has been proved by our great placements and our accreditations.
I'm sure students will be onboarding their journey for the MBA programs in the upcoming year. Will have a great learning experience too, with the kind of experience with you and your team is having on board. And sooner or later, it's going to be like resulting into a better placement, getting good corporate connects, where the students obviously can take the legacy ahead of what VBS will be showing to these students, right? So amazing.
Yes,
So amazing.
yes.
So amazing. There's an important disclaimer also. Students who are watching this video can see the description box link where we have sent pasted the college application PGDM form link. You can register yourself there so that we can help you out tutoring for GDPI and start your college applications too at the same time. So it was great interacting with you and sure with all the experience and the knowledge which you have shared. It's going to be quite easy for these students to select right college after the CMAT results has been called out and prepare for the fullest of their potential for the upcoming GD and the PI round. I thank you thank you so much for engaging with us and sharing your knowledge and experience with all the students on board. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank MBA Pathshala and you, Abhishek, for doing such a wonderful session for our students. And it is really difficult for the students after doing their graduation. They are full of energy, but they require a lot of direction. And direction, what you are trying to, by calling us, we would have covered 90% of the time, 90% of the things we would have covered, 10% of the thing we also forget because we are professors. So that happens, that is a natural flow. So I look for, more kind of a session like this, where we can cover those 10% of the point what we have left. Otherwise, it was a great session. I enjoyed doing it.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Bye-bye. Thank you.